Okay. Can everybody settle in? Let's go over this quiz because it wasn't as a class, we weren't as successful as I would have hoped for. Now, the first one says the value of the square root of x squared minus 9 is real and rational when x is equal to. So all you got to do is plug them all in. If I plug in the first one with a 3, I get 3 squared is 9, 9 minus 9 is 0, and that's a real and rational number because the square root of 0 is 0. Next one, I plug in a 5. 5 squared is 25, 25 minus 9 is 16, the square root of 16 is 4. That is also real and rational. However, if I plug in a 25, I get 625 when I square it, minus 9 is 616. That is not square rootable perfectly, so therefore, it is irrational. And the last one, I get the square root of negative 8, which is not real, it's imaginary. So therefore, if you put down A or B, you get credit. If you put any other choice down, you do not. Question on the first one. Okay, on the second one, I think every person had it right. 2 and 11 is what we were looking for. We're going up by 3s. All right, now, as far as the next one goes, I'm a little bit disappointed. I would think by now we would have everybody getting this question completely right, and that's not the case. The amount of money at any point in time, t, and in this case, t is 20. That's what I wrote over there. I wrote the 20 over the t in the formula. Is going to be the initial amount, which is 10,000, times 1. Now, since this is an account that's earning interest, that means it's going up. So it's 1 point, add the 4.5%. So you have to make that a decimal first. So you get 1.045, and then it's 28 to the 20th power. Yes?
For number 3, I put 24,117.14, and you marked it wrong.
Show me at the end of the period. Okay? So 24,117.14. Any question about that? Okay. And now we get to this one, and it asks, what is the percent change? Now, look, in the formula here, you see how it had to be 1.0? And it was earning interest, so it went up. So it's 1 plus 0.045 for 4.5%. But now, the carbon atoms is decreasing, so it's going down. So it's not 1 plus, it's 1 what? What is it? 1 minus. So whatever's in this parenthesis here, 1 minus whatever this change is, has to equal 0.88. Well, you could do it algebraically or you can reason it out. The bottom line is it has to be 0.12. And then 0.12 is better known as 12%. Okay? Any questions on that? All right. So that's the work that was on the quiz, and this was the second one in a series, and I'm very happy to say that effective Monday, we're back in a new routine. You know, I have not even looked far enough ahead to know if we have a test on next Friday, but we might. So I know on Monday we'll finish this series of quizzes. We might have one more series of quizzes before we get to vacation. I'm really not positive, but that's pretty much where we're at. And I would like to get a test in before vacation. I don't know that I can do that, but hopefully there's a test a week from today. We will find out. All right, modeling a context from a sequence. And as soon as you are looking at this kind of font and these kind of tables, you know that this is something that the state gave to me to teach you as a way of introducing this Common Core algebra. So let's go through it and see what we got. Identify the type of function that each table represents, that is quadratic, linear, exponential, square root, etc. What's the first table going to be?
Linear.
Linear, because it's going up by a constant amount. A constant difference or a common difference is a linear situation. What is it going up by in table A? 2, good. What about table B?
Quadratic.
No. No, definitely not quadratic. It is exponential. Evan, how did you know it was exponential?
Because it's like multiplying.
Yeah, there's a common ratio. So whereas A is linear because there's a common difference, here there's a common ratio. Namely, 9 divided by 6 is 1.5. 13.5 divided by 9 is 1.5, etc. And what about C? Spencer?
Exponential.
No.
Oh man.
Spencer, let's do the common ratio thing. What's 12 divided by 3?
4.
What's 27 divided by 12?
Not 4.
Bingo. Perfectly said. Those were exactly the words I was going to
But
use.
it's not linear.
Linear? What's linear? Like, is that Hal the basketball player?
What?
There was a basketball player named Hal Lanier.
How, is that a joke?
Well, that's what you said. You said it's not linear.
Did I say linear?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally gay right now. I have no idea what's going on.
It's the blonde.
Is it quadratic?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man.
Now, you see the sense of certainty in Spencer's response. How do we know that C is quadratic? That was what, it's not linear. There you go. I can see, from now on, I'm going to have a really hard time pronouncing the word linear.
Linear.
Linear. What did I say?
Linear.
That's how you say it, right?
No.
How do you say it?
Do me a favor, say nuclear.
Nuclear.
Okay. President Bush used to have a really hard time saying nuclear.
Some people say nuclear. That bothers me. That's a kill streak for Call of Duty. That's not.
Yeah, right? You should be immediately disqualified because you obviously can't
It's
pronounce
linear.
anything in English.
It's linear.
Linear.
Like lineage? That's dumb.
Like line, L-I-N-E-A-R.
I'm not saying like that.
Spencer, I don't think it's the thing that's dumb. Okay. I'm looking for my magic wand, and I don't see it anywhere. But my desk is a complete disaster right now. I'll have to clean it at the end of the period.
Yeah, because you're not going to have them.
That's a true statement. I am
Wait, you're not going on the day?
not a chance in the universe. No way, Jose. Not interested. Why would anyone even want to go on the trip?
Answer that.
Why, are you scared of buses?
No, no. I take them all the time for sports. Take them every day. I look at trips. What is so funny? Who has it?
Oh my god! It's right there!
Where?
I'm making it.
I really seriously can't see it. Where is it? Can
Don't
someone,
tell him, don't tell him.
Spencer, I think I am more stupid than this.
Hurry.
Oh, who put it in that one? It doesn't go in that one. It goes in this one. Oh, so sad. You think I need a vacation?
I think we all do.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk.
Why would you do that?
All right. Seriously, let's talk about. Hey, let's talk about quadratic. Hey, guys, let's talk about quadratic and how to see quadratic. Okay. It's very difficult. Normally with quadratic, what we see is the going up and the up and down. We see that turn, right? But this one doesn't have that section of the parabola graph. So let's look at the differences here. This is 9, 15, 21, 27. Now, this is what we call a first difference. Why do you think we call it a first difference? Everybody?
Because there's an equal difference between all the multiplications.
No, because it's the first time we found the difference.
That was my
Okay? Now, we're going to do a second difference. What do you get?
6. 6. 6.
Bad number. Now, listen, I didn't make the question up. I hate 6 for that reason. But here's what I want you to understand. If you get a common second difference, it's always going to be quadratic. Okay? So a common first difference is linear.
Linear.
I know, I said it that way on purpose.
That's how you
And
say
a
it.
common second difference is,
Linear.
That's dumb. That's like Canadian.
no doubt about it. Now, that would be quadratic. Okay, any questions? And the next one asks you to plot the data. I'm sure if you plot the data, you will see a line, you will see an exponential. And you would see a piece of the quadratic if you followed to the other side. Hey! If you followed to the other side, you would have it. Any questions? All right, so let's go forward.
That was really weird.
Enrique is a biologist who's been monitoring the population of a rare fish in Lake Placid. He's tracked the population for years and has come up with the following estimates. Okay? Now, create a graph and a function to model this situation. So let me cut the size down a little bit so I can graph it. And I don't care what year it is. I care the years since tracking. And this will be years, and this will be population. Now, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. And over here, the estimated fish population. I can, let's go by 50s. Yeah, we'll go by 50s. Can I do 50s? That'll let me go all the way up to 1,000?
No,
It'll be close.
probably. Yeah, that's a total.
All right, so let's go 100, 200, 100, 200, no, 200's here. 300's here. I'm gonna do this in hundreds, but I don't have a lot of room, okay? 400s, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000. Okay, so if I go to graph this, at year 0, I'm at 1,000. At year 1, I'm at 900, just about. At year 2, I'm at about 800. It's actually 796. At year 3, I'm at 691. And year 4, I'm at 584. All right, so it says here, create a graph and a function to model this type of situation using it to predict, assuming the trend continues, when the fish population with the ecosystem. All right, now, is this linear? Is it linear?
No.
No. Now, it looks close to linear, but we don't have a common difference. This is 101, then it's 103, it's 105, it's 107. So it's not exactly linear. So if I write those differences, 101, 103, 105, 107s, let's look at your second differences. What do I have here? 2, 2, 2. So what kind of function is this? No, quadratic. When the second difference is common, then it's going to be a quadratic. So what we're doing here is we are in one way, shape, or form creating a half of a parabola that'll go down like that somehow, some way. Okay? Any questions? All right. Let's go to the next phase here. The next phase is homework. Okay, so what you're going to do is, again, look at the data. Is it linear? Is it exponential? Is it quadratic? Is it none of the above? And then you're going to write formulas when it's linear and exponential. As far as quadratic goes, we will show you a way to do it on the calculator. I think I already did where you can go quadratic regression as you do L1 and L2, and that'll get you straightened out. See, it goes here. Man, do I have to clean my desk.
Totally up to earth science today.
Stop dying. Stop. Oh my. I'm trying to die now, Kristen, stop.
I'm gonna be I hate science. I don't have
Emma, when you go home, you gotta get back on your game.
Girls,
You haven't been the normal Emma lately.
it's been rough. Emma! Yeah.
You're trash.
Can I keep my equipment in the back?
back of your room on the
Okay, it's all done, so you're ready to take the test, I'll remember that. I would, well, you're not going on the trip, you're going to take it on lunch. There's gonna be like nobody in there. Okay? Alright, you're right there, tell you what. Alright. Hey, is Josh staying here, or is he going on the trip too?
He's not, he's staying.
Then you open a cup.
Oh, now I see. No, you do plan B, and then you've got a different signs, because the negative times a negative would have been a positive system.
So, you marked me right for this one, but it was wrong.
When I screw up, I never take it away from the kids, so I appreciate your honesty, and we'll move forward.
Joseph Harrison, Alyssa Ingracia.
All right, now, did I look over this?
No. I watched the videos last night for stuff that I haven't watched yet.
And you said you work with your dad?
Yeah.
All right, I'll look at it later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Apologize, I just won't be here. Should I take one of these packets?
That'd be a good idea. What time are you leaving?
In the beginning of second period.
Beginning of second?
Beginning, middle. They didn't tell us when. So.
Jeffrey Garzon, Kayla Poole, Chloe Lesson, Wilson Lee, and Evan Rupolo to the main office.
Let's rock. Come on, let's go.
Backpack's on your back.
Wait.
Wouldn't you take that on a trip? No, I can't. Hurry up.
You're not allowed to?
Come on, get in. Come on in.
Good morning, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Get hood.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you, Daniel. Here are a couple of quick announcements. Congratulations to Evan Rucola for winning at the first singles yesterday in tennis, 6-2 and 6-0. The Interact Club will be holding its first meeting next Wednesday, April 5th in room 206. If you're looking for a chance to become more involved in your school, stop